Hello, my name is Nicola Fordham and I'm a learning designer at Coventry University Online. And today I'm going to be talking about the 5 things that I've learned about designing and creating courses at scale over the last 5 years. And these 5 things really all build into the one thing, and that's planning. I found that planning the time that's available to work on a course, whether that's synchronous or asynchronous, prevents the course from becoming front heavy. And what I mean by that is that all the time and effort goes into the front part of the course, and then as other priorities come in and time becomes shorter, the end of the course kind of just peters out. So to plan the time effectively, the process needs to be really clear in the minds of the course creators. So everybody who's working on that course needs to be clear in the steps in the process and the timings in order to make that course viable. But the timings don't stop when the course has been produced. A good course can't be a one and done. There needs to be a plan for feedback and maintenance, and there needs to be time allocated to that. Because these things can be done ad hoc on a small scale, but there comes a point when it's just no longer feasible. But the longer it's been ad hoc, the harder it is to convert it into a more formal process. So to then use the time effectively, everyone needs to be clear on roles and responsibilities. Duplicating effort wastes time, and it can damage relationships between the people who are working on a course. And even if not, there are consequences for the course itself and therefore for the students, whether that's quality checks or missing pieces that are necessary. And then once all the procedural nuts and bolts have been ironed out, it's essential to know who your students are. So I work with academics to create at least 3 well-rounded out personas with different backgrounds, different likes and dislikes, different struggles and triumphs, to really give the target audience life, and to really make sure that we are planning and writing for those students, addressing any difficulties they might have, stretching them where we need to, those kinds of things. So nothing so far has lent itself to a particular course or subject, or even a particular type of course, asynchronous or synchronous. And that continues when I use 8 questions through a backwards design approach to really plot and pin down the key components around which the rest of the course can be built. So these questions aren't subject or course specific, and I don't think that they reduce the individuality of a course, but they do start with the assessment. So how does the student demonstrate their learning? And this is a more student-centered way of looking at the assessment, looking at what the student needs to do and know rather than the concepts that need to be covered. I also look at what skills students need to be able to complete the assessment, because these are often different to the skills they need for the subject. Nurses, for example, very rarely need to write an essay unless they're in a formal education situation. I look at the concepts and also the skills that students need to acquire throughout the course. Again, the skills might be different from those that they need to complete the assessment. And these are skills that they'll take forward into their chosen field. I look at how students apply the concepts and skills that they're learning, essentially how they're practicing what they know, either for the assessment or for their chosen field. I also look at the key activities that they're using to acquire and apply those concepts. So this will be testing and reinforcing and practicing their knowledge through simulations, through debates, through different activities that are specific to that subject area. I also look at whether there's any dependencies which might suggest a sequence for the course. So the dependencies between concepts or between skills, or even between concepts and skills. And then I look at the future. What are they learning that's going to help them with further study or with their employability in their chosen field? and really making those explicit and clear in the writing. So those are the 5 key takeaways that I've learned for designing and creating courses at scale over the last 5 years. Thank you for listening.